Hello friends, good morning and welcome to LeggLife and welcome back to our Sunday cooking video. If you are new to our channel, our videos on Sundays are a little bit different than our videos through the rest of the week. Because on Sundays, we share a cooking video, a cooking vlog with you. Sherri and I are on this journey to get healthier. We're doing keto in 2021. And so this video is just our chance to show you the kind of stuff we're eating, the kind of stuff we're making, and maybe give you ideas as well for new recipes. And what I am making today is hands down, without a doubt, my favorite, my number one breakfast brunch food that I have missed. It is my all-time favorite breakfast food. It's my go-to brunch food, and I just didn't think I was going to be able to have it, at least a good version of it, while on keto. Well, fingers crossed that changes today, because today, I'm so excited to say this, we are making keto biscuits and gravy. But first, you may know that I have my jacket on. You might say, Adam, why in the heck are you standing in your kitchen with your jacket on? Well, it's brunch, and so that means it's early, and it's the weekend. And so I need to go get Sherri a coffee even before I start cooking. Now, absolutely, we could make our coffee here at home. However, some friends of ours, Aaron and Ilona, sent over a little surprise for Sherri, which is just her weekend Saturday morning coffee. So I'm gonna actually go pick that up right now, get Sherri her coffee, get me some coffee, and then come home and make biscuits and gravy, and fingers crossed this turns out. I've never made this before, this recipe, and so I don't know how it's gonna work. I hope it is exactly what I want, but let's go get coffee. It's definitely a chilly one today. It is 13 degrees outside. You saw there was a little bit of snow on the windshield. It's actually not snowing. It's beautiful, blue skies, sunny day. I think all of that snow is just from the fact that there's a little bit of wind out. And so it's kind of just like blowing some of the frost off the tree, blowing some of the snow around. So we didn't get fresh snow. That's just kind of blown around existing snow. But today is beautiful. In fact, I've got to show you the mountains. Look at those mountains today. Like perfect blue sky, just absolutely gorgeous. I'm grabbing our coffee today from this little coffee shack that's really close to our house called Java the Hut. The baristas here are so nice. They make such good drinks. And because of how close it is to the house, it's kind of my go-to coffee shop for like our weekend morning coffee, because I don't have to drive very far. Plus, Java the Hut, who doesn't want to support a coffee shop with that clever of a name? And score for the coffees we got today. We filled up our coffee card, so next time we're here, we get $3 off. Coffee's acquired, and they even gave us little lips to cover up so they don't spill. Adorable. Sherri got an Americano with sugar-free cherry and sugar-free almond, a little bit of cream, yum. I got a sugar-free Captain Crunch Americano, which is the sugar-free syrups of strawberry and hazelnut. Absolutely delicious, but I'm hungry, so let's start keto biscuits and gravy. Here are the ingredients that we are going to need for our keto biscuits and gravy. For the biscuits, we are using this Highkey biscuit mix, which is going to take a 1/4 cup of butter and 2 eggs. And then for the sausage gravy, you can see I have some ground breakfast sausage, I have some chicken stock, I have some xanthan gum, I have some heavy cream, and then some salt and pepper. And right from the beginning of this video, I do want to give a shout out to Highkey. They actually sent this to us and a whole bunch of other stuff. It's actually kind of a cool story. We didn't reach out to them. They watched our keto, like a keto unboxing video that we did in January, actually commented on our video, said, hey, our team watched this, loved the video, we would love for you guys to message us. So we messaged them, they're like, again, our team watched it, team loved it, would like to send you guys some Highkey stuff. And so they did, they sent us a bunch of stuff, but they were like, we'll look through our website, tell us what you want. And I said, honestly, I don't care what you guys send us. Like, surprise us. The only thing that I want is this. This is the one thing that I really wanted, because I wanted biscuits and gravy so bad. So I'm hoping this makes good biscuits and gravy. But again, Highkey, thank you so much, number one, for watching. Thank you, number two, for sending us all of this stuff. The first thing I'm actually gonna get going is this biscuit mix. So again, this is just gonna be this, 2 eggs, and the butter. First thing we did was get our oven preheating to 375 degrees. So 1 1/3 cups of this. Now this, I did look on the ingredients. Their biscuit mix is made with almond flour, which is pretty much what I expected. So it does kind of have that grainy consistency to it. But it's not just almond flour, it also has like tapioca fiber in there and some other things. So it's not straight almond flour. So there's 1 cup. And there is a 3rd cup. Next we have our 1/4 cup of butter. Now it says what to do here is to cut the butter into cubes and like press it into the mix. Well, I'm not gonna do that. Maybe I should do that. I'm not going to. I'm actually gonna grate the butter. Auburn, I think it was, sent us a biscuit recipe where we grated the butter, and it was so good because it puts these like just little bits of butter all throughout it. So I'm actually gonna grate my 1/4 cup of butter here into the mix. And obviously if you're grating butter, you want your butter to be like out of the freezer or out of the fridge. You don't want it to be room temperature because grating room temperature butter, not really a fun job. You can see we've got so much butter grated in here that you can't even see the flour below it. And honestly, that's kind of how I feel every recipe should be anyway. Just like a mountain of butter on top. Next thing we are going to add are 2 eggs. So there's 1 egg. And egg numero dos. It tells us to mix well, so we're gonna put it here in our KitchenAid. Now we're just gonna raise our KitchenAid up, just like so, and turn it on, and we're gonna mix this until everything is combined. Now it says just to take like a big ice cream spoon or something like that, and just drop them on there. You can see we have our baking sheet covered in wax paper. So that is what our biscuits look like, and now we are going to put them in the oven, which is preheated and ready for, it says 13 to 15 minutes, so we'll set it for 13 and check on them. Fingers crossed. Those are delicious. Biscuits, check, in the oven. Now we're gonna start working on our sausage gravy. When I'm with Sherri and I make sausage gravy, obviously we use flour to thicken it. This one doesn't have the ability to use flour because obviously we're keto. And so what it adds instead is xanthan gum. Now I have never cooked with xanthan gum. I do know from reading a lot of stuff online that sometimes it can taste like slimy. It can make things feel kind of slimy. So I'm curious to see how this gravy turns out. Fingers crossed it is delicious, but let's give it a try. We just turned our stovetop on to medium heat. We're gonna let our cast iron skillet heat up, and then once the skillet is hot, we're gonna add our ground breakfast sausage. Our pan is hot, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put our ground breakfast sausage in. I think I'll go ahead and take the paper out. Probably not gonna include that this morning. Then we're gonna go ahead and break up our breakfast sausage. So you can see the sausage is almost completely cooked now. There's still a little bit of pink in there, so you could just like cook the rest of that pink out and then be done. But I like my sausage, especially in like a gravy, to be cooked much more than this. Biscuits, I think, are done. Let's take them out and look. Oh, okay. So they're not exactly like tall and fluffy like a biscuit, but that doesn't matter because I'm gonna cover it in gravy. I will say it does smell really good. We've got the biscuits here on the plate. They actually look really good. And like I said earlier, they smell super good. Sherri's gonna cover them up just to keep them warm till we're ready for those. Sausage looks great, so now I'm gonna take a ½ teaspoon of xanthan gum, and I'm going to just kind of sprinkle it all over the top here. And this recipe did say to kind of drain off any excess fat, but we just had so little excess fat because of the breakfast sausage we used. We used a really lean, a really great quality breakfast sausage. And so there's just very little fat in that. So there's really not anything to drain off. And just, you know, I did lower the temperature down to medium-low. So we added that xanthan gum in there, and now we're just kind of stirring that all in, making sure that's nice and mixed around. Next thing we're gonna add here is our chicken stock. And we wanna add this slowly. So just kind of a couple tablespoons at a time, and then just kind of stir that all around. And while you're doing this is one of the reasons that I like to cook my sausage a little bit more, because while you're doing this, you're kind of scraping the bottom of the pan, getting all those delicious, like, craggly bits of sausage and flavor. Last little bit in there. Stir that all up. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna increase the temperature to medium until it simmers. Now, I'm using a cast iron pan, which obviously stays pretty hot, so you can see it's already kind of simmering a little bit. but we're just gonna let this simmer until this takes on like a gravy consistency, which it's honestly not far away from already. And so we're just gonna kind of stir this, let it simmer for a minute. It'll take on a little bit thicker consistency before we add in our cream. So I think this looks pretty perfect. Been simmering for just a little bit. It's got like a nice consistency to it. So now we're gonna add in our heavy cream, and we have 2 cups of this. So I'm gonna do something a little bit similar. I'm not gonna dump it all in at once. I'm gonna add a little bit, stir it around, and then the last bit there. So we've still got this on medium. I'm gonna keep stirring this until we get this to a simmer. And then what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna drop this down to low heat, and we're going to let this cook until this thickens up. You can still see this is super runny, not really what you want for a biscuits and gravy type of sausage gravy. So we are going to, again, bring this to a simmer, keep stirring it a little bit, and then drop it down to low and let it thicken up. This is the meal that I'm most nervous about that we've tried, because biscuits and gravy is like on such a high pedestal for me that I just don't want to be disappointed. That's my thing. It's like, please just be okay. Now here's the upside to this recipe, is biscuits and gravy to me are kind of like pizza, in that even bad pizza is still pretty good pizza. Like, I haven't had a lot of pizza that I'm just like, I would never eat that again. Like, at the end of the day, it's still pizza. And biscuits and gravy to me is kind of like that. Like, I've had some not great biscuits and gravy, but it's still biscuits and gravy. So fingers crossed, this satisfies my biscuits and gravy craving that I've been having, but we'll have to wait and see. We are getting close though. Now it's time to bring one of our all-time favorite hip hop groups to the party. Salt and pepper. I just tasted this. It definitely does need both. So I'm gonna start with some pepper. Keep in mind, you can always go back. Actually, this is salt. I'm a moron.
It's salt, but that's fine.
You can always go back and add more. So we're gonna add a little bit, and then we'll add more if we need it. You guys know Sherry, not a huge pepper fan, so I will get it to her liking, and then I'll add more pepper on top of mine, like once it's on the plate. Okay. Let's see. It's getting close, but it's really good. I'm really excited. It does need a little bit more salt. This actually is salt this time. And I think Sherry would even agree. It needs more pepper. We're gonna go ahead and turn off the heat. Put it here in this bowl without dumping it all over the stove. That's the goal, is put it in the bowl without dumping it all over the stove. Man, I picked the perfect size bowl, Sherry Beth.
Good job.
My skills and abilities grow every day. We have our gravy. We have our biscuits. Now we're gonna combine them on our plate. Fingers crossed this is good. You can see Sherry dishing up the gravy over there. Yum. The consistency of the gravy turned out great. Now before I try the biscuit and gravy, I actually want to try a bite of just the biscuit, because I'm curious to know how these taste on their own, because there are other recipes that we could use these for. So here's a bite just of the biscuit. Oh, Sherry.
Kind of a cornbread consistency. Kind of that flaky, like falling apart kind of thing, but like it tastes like a biscuit. It's good. It
tastes like a biscuit. It is very cornbread-ish, just without the corn. It's better than I expected it to be.
Yeah, it's good.
So we didn't add salt to that recipe. That was one of my concerns, because I love a biscuit that is two things, salty and buttery. And so I was like, when I wasn't adding salt, I was like, am I gonna regret this? It's actually pretty salty and good. Oh, I'm happy.
Yeah.
But Sherry, now the moment of truth. We have to see, we know they're good as individuals, but are they good as a couple? Because it's Valentine's Day weekend, and we need to see if this is a wonderful couple. I'm waiting on Sherry's reaction. She just took her first bite.
They make each other better.
They do? Wait, is it good?
It's real good.
I
think you're gonna be really happy.
I am so happy to hear you say that. I'm so excited.
I'm excited for you to try this.
Is it better than you thought it was gonna be?
It's better than I was expecting.
Okay. So happy. It's like almost an emotional moment for me.
Are you so happy?
This is what I wanted. This is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, we gotta stop vlogging and go eat this. And we'll give you our final wrap up here when we're done. I was just thinking about these biscuits because I'm shooketh by how good they are. These would also be so delicious, like warm with just like butter melted on them. Keto Biscuits and Gravy wrap up time. Keto Biscuits and Gravy wrap up time. That's gonna be our new theme song, Sherry. I'm gonna play it at the end right here. Oh. Do you like that idea? Okay, let's talk about this recipe. Sherry, I want you to go first.
I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
I was kind of expecting, I was hoping that it would be good for keto biscuits and gravy.
Absolutely.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that, like, when you're not using like real flour and real sugar and real, you know, like anything, then it, you know, it's sort of like, it's good for what it is.
Totally.
This was good. I was
good.
I was pleasantly surprised.
What would you do differently next time? Anything?
I think we put a little too much salt in the gravy. It was
Agreed.
a little too salty.
Yep.
But I don't think so. I mean, it was really good.
Yeah, it was really good. The biscuits were better than I expected them to be.
Yep.
Also, gosh, I just started thinking of so many things I could use them with. Like, I want to have those biscuits next time I make my keto chili.
Oh yeah.
You know, just like there's so many things that now I'm wanting to use that biscuit mix for. To me, I am so thrilled. I am so happy because now I feel like I can do keto and have my very favorite breakfast brunch food, which is biscuits and gravy. Like, I thought it was awesome. I thought it was great. The consistency of the gravy was good. My concern, I think I mentioned it earlier, is that a lot of what I had read is that xanthan gum can make things kind of slimy. I didn't get that in this.
I didn't either. No.
And so I was glad of that. And so the gravy was great, had a good sausage flavor. Yeah, as Sherry mentioned, I would cut back on the salt a little bit. I bumped up the pepper in mine, obviously. But overall, this was a
home run.
This was a home run for sure.
Yep.
And one that we will absolutely do again.
Yes, for sure.
Now, in the video description down below, I'm going to put a couple things. I'm going to put a link to the sausage gravy recipe we used. We did make some changes on that. We tweaked it a little bit, as we do, honestly, with most recipes that we make. The other thing I'm going to put to is a link to Amazon where you can get the Highkey biscuit mix. If you are doing keto, again, first time we've used them, I absolutely loved them. I mentioned this earlier, Highkey did send these to us completely free. However, our opinion is completely our own. Like, we loved them, not because they sent them to us for free. We loved them because for keto biscuits, they're really good.
And we will be purchasing them from here on out.
Absolutely. Like, I'm gonna go on Amazon later today because we don't really have a ton of the mix left in the bag. I'm gonna go on Amazon and buy some bags for us because I want to have those in the house. They were also really easy to make, which was nice. Yeah. So to me, I'm so happy. What a great start to a Saturday. Friends, we love you guys. Thanks for being part of our LeggLife community. Thanks for following along on our keto journey, our health journey, making some of our very favorite foods. And sometimes, like today, they turn out amazing. Yeah. We'll see you guys in the next LeggLife video.